Let's move on to another story, which is very interesting for all of us. Mariam Shah is an unlikely entrepreneur. She was born and raised in Burj Al Barajna, a Palestinian refugee camp in Lebanon. Her family has been living there for 70 years. And even though there aren't many opportunities inside the camp, she's found a way to set up her own business. It's a food truck, and it employs and empowers women. Her story has been made into a documentary which premiered here in Singapore over the weekend. Let's take a look.
الناس بالمخيمات بده يعمل شيء. المرأة مضطرة إنها تكون كل نهار بالبيت. تعتبر حالها هي بالدرجة الأولى هي أم، بعدين زوجة. حتى ممكن تنسى إنه هي أنثى يعني.
To find out more about Mariam's story, let's bring in now Myrna Atalla, the Executive Director of Alfanar, a social investor which helps Sufra to get off the ground. Myrna, great to have you on the program. So what is it about Mariam and her food truck that made Alfanar and you invest in this project?
So Alfanar is the first venture philanthropy organization focused on the Arab region. And one of our selection criteria when we're looking at a social enterprise is the backable chief executive, someone who is deeply committed to the community and has grit, and someone we know will carry a project through to the end, through the challenges which inevitably come up.
Absolutely. Just looking at that documentary, there are a lot of challenges for Mariam. But how important was it that Mariam and her team members were all women and were able to earn a living and be self-sufficient?
So this concept for us is one of the, if you will, primary reasons we get invested, because we're looking at how to empower, in the long term, vulnerable women and children.
And what makes it also challenging for them is that they are in a refugee camp.
Absolutely. It's a very unlikely place, but what we find is the power of social enterprise exists in the most unlikely places. There are markets within the camp. There is capacity within the refugees. So we look for these types of people to invest, and then we help them actually build out their business plans and stay accountable.
But how did you come across a film project, meet the producer, Susan Sarandon and Thomas Morgan, and be part of a film and basically tell the world about Mariam and her food truck? So,
you know, sometimes it's just human coincidence, really. I had the fortune of meeting Thomas, and we were going to work on a film about a potential project in Libya. And sadly, the situation became untenable. So when this specific investment came up, the Sufra food truck, refugees owning and running their own business, Thomas became interested.
But has this film basically changed perceptions about women, also about Muslims and refugees?
I think inevitably, this is exactly the power of documentary film, is to shed light on the fact that our preconceived notions about those who are vulnerable are often wrong, and that there's good and bad in many situations. But if we pool together our resources to back those unlikely horses, that we can bring together examples of hope for these communities.
Indeed, we can learn so much from Mariam and her food truck business.
Yes, it's true. Yes, we have lots to learn about self-sufficiency, how to rely on ourselves, how to set plans, and really how to show the future generation what it means to, you know, oftentimes we give fish in these situations. Actually, to teach people how to fish has much longer lasting power.
Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, and congratulations on the movie and, of course, your investment in the Sufra food truck. Send our regards to Mariam.
Yes, I will.
Myrna Atalla, Executive Director of Alfanar, which invested in the Sufra food truck.